Somebody said that statement of.
So basically, someone is saying that to make zina or to drink alcohol is better than watching a cartoon with kufr and shirk in it. Basically,
you might love that kufr and shirk.
Al-Muhim, maybe if somebody's gonna watch something and become influenced by that thing and do it and fall into that, then obviously, of course, shirk and kufr is worse than zina and the gambling and alcohol, etc. But is that even practical? Can a person sleep with a woman who isn't his wife and then say it's better than watching Looney Tunes or Bugs Bunny or I don't know, Adventures of Batman and Robin? These are the cartoons we watched when we were younger. What new cartoons they have today? SpongeBob? I don't know. Al-Muhim. If a person says that I can make zina and drink and gamble and steal, and that's better than to watch a cartoon with kufr and shirk in it, I mean, I don't think that's realistic. I think that if you have that much consciousness on your mind of the danger of cartoons and how they can lead you astray, you should have more than enough consciousness not to sleep with someone that's not your wife or to drink alcohol. So I don't think that's really practical.
Back to the values of Tawheed, you would realize that it's better to fornicate and take drugs.
Back to the values of Tawheed. Just because something is better doesn't mean it's advisable. Of course. I would rather you cut off my hand than cut off my arm if it came down to it, of course. But that doesn't mean I say, here, cut off my hand. I want to protect my hand. I don't want to lose my hand. Of course not. But of course, if it came down to it, that's correct. In theory, is that if a person made a sin and he knows that it's a sin, he's better than someone who's not a Muslim anymore. That's common sense. But that does not mean that we abuse that and take it easy and fornicate, steal, drink, and then, well, it's better than, shirk and kufr. That's a game of the what? Of the shaitan. That's a game of the shaitan, let alone the fact that if some of the Salaf radiallahu anhum, if some of them said, I would rather see my son coming out of a whorehouse or speak easy or a brothel than sinning with the people of desires. I'd rather see someone making this sin than making kufr or shirk or whatever. That does not mean that those same companions and Salaf didn't say that sins baridul kufr. They said it's the bridge to kufr. They also spoke about sins as well. And do we realize that when this Imam said, let's backbite for the sake of Allah for an hour, that's the same Imam who prayed at night, who fasted in the daytime, who made Hajj, who gave sadaqah, who fought in Allah's cause, and the list goes on. Can you say that? Can I say that? Am I of that level of righteousness and piety and ilm and devotion to Allah? So we have to take the way of these ulama, these pious predecessors as a whole. The one who made that statement was not a wife beater. He wasn't someone who abused his wife and blacked his wife's eye and broke her jaw. Let's backbite for the sake of Allah. He wasn't someone who stole and robbed people and gambled and drank and fornicated. There was one brother, unfortunately, and the truth is said, unfortunately, I'm not going to say the brother's name. The brother was from my city. He was from Philadelphia. But he was from another country originally. He's from Philadelphia. So he was with another brother that I was friends with, closer with. I really didn't know this brother like that. So the brother, he came to pick me up one time at where I was living. And I didn't like the fact that he brought him to my house. But it was the qadr of Allah. He was there. So he gets in a car and he starts talking and, so on and so forth, crazy, blah, 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 blah. So the brother leaves. And later on, the other brother, he says to me, yeah, he's talking about Sheikh Yahya al-Hajuri. And Sheikh Yahya al-Hajuri is a mubtadi'. He's an innovator. If you go to Damaj, you're an innovator. If you study in Damaj, you're a hizbi and blah, 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 blah. And the brother, he didn't say, the friend, he says, but I know one thing for sure. Sheikh Yahya al-Hajuri ain't tatted up like you. And the brother had tattoos all over his body, on his hands, on his arms, and he was from a Middle Eastern / Arabic country. He's born, raised Muslim, knows Arabic, but he's what? Tatted up. And he talks about Shaykh Yahya al-Hajuri. So one thing's for sure. Maybe Shaykh Yahya al-Hajuri is an innovator. Maybe he isn't. But one thing's for sure. The Salaf would not get what? Tattoos. That's we can agree upon. So the hypocrisy of the people and the double standard of the people and what they take and pick and choose like it's a shelf. The way of the Salaf is a bookshelf. You pick up a book and leave 5 other books. This Imam who made this statement, who did this, who said, I'd rather see this, was someone who was pious. He was righteous. He was God-fearing. And they made certain statements. And for argument's sake, those statements are not statements of the what? Of the Prophet. The Prophet never said that. The Prophet never ever said, I'd rather see my son coming out of a whorehouse than being with the people of innovation. He never said that. The Prophet never made those words. The Prophet never said that sin is better to Iblis than bid'ah. Not saying that that's a wrong statement. But the what? The Rasul never said that. So if the Rasul didn't say it, there is no legal binding of your argument. I may accept it, I may not, if it's not from Muhammad's honorable mouth. But for argument's sake, those who made those statements, they were what? They were righteous. They were righteous people. They fasted every other day. They made Hajj every year. They stood in prayer all night. They finished the Quran every 3 days, every 5 days, every 7 days. They were warriors in the cause of Allah. Can you say that about yourself? And I've never met Shaykh Yahya al-Hajuri, nor have I ever studied with him directly. I've benefited from him, yes, but I've never studied with him directly. But I'll be willing to gamble and bet my library Shaykh Yahya al-Hajuri doesn't have one tattoo. I'll be willing to if gambling was permissible, I would put my money on the table that he doesn't have a what? A tattoo. And I'll also be willing that Shaykh Yahya al-Hajuri, and Allah knows best, the list of other problems and issues that the brother may have, or we knew that he had. I guarantee that he doesn't have what? One of those issues. I can guarantee you that. So can you say the same? So yeah, I need the shaitan and how he just dances around people and just plays with their minds and brains. Wallahi, it's amazing how he just tricks people. And that's why you should read the book The Devil's Deception of Ibn al-Jawzi, rahimahullah, and how the devil does not discriminate against a righteous person or a knowledgeable person. He tries to trick everyone. And he uses tricks with what? Everyone. Those who like the Quran, he plays with them. Those who like hadith, he what? He plays with them. Those who have sin, he doesn't care. So we have to be mindful of these things. And as we've said many times before, there is a proper and an improper way of reading these statements and making these comparisons. It's better to fornicate than watch a cartoon of kufr and shirk. Can you say that? You're actually in the fornication, literally, physically and metaphysically. You're in the zina. And you say somebody's watching a cartoon, what? What is this? May Allah help us all. So the bottom line is, don't watch cartoons that have kufr and shirk in them, and don't what? Enter something that's what? You're not supposed to enter. Clear? And Allah knows best.